Yes, I wanted to show you this particular stone. This is called hematite, which is iron oxide. Now, this particular stone has been magnetized, and of course we know magnetism does have a positive and a negative to it. And what happens was the one stone moves according to the other stone field that is around it. Now, back in the 1800s, the early 1800s, Michael Faraday came along and he postulated what he called a field theory, and that is essentially around all stones and all objects there is a sphere of influence. We can readily see that in a magnet stone, but also what happens too, we can see it in other stones too. We have a couple of stones that have heavy magnetism in it because they have very heavy iron core within the structure of the stone. One is, if I can find the thing here, is hematite, once again iron oxide, and lodestone, which is loaded with iron. Now, we call these the stones of protection. I know in a lot of metaphysical books what happens is they'll have stories of stones, and the greater majority of those stories, they'll say they were intuitive, which means they made it up. Well, that's okay because I make up stories too, but I like to have a historical precedent of it. The story that I use, these stones being the stone of protection, is essentially what happened was back in the day, we're talking about 3.5, 4 billion years ago, when the Earth was being created. The Earth was bombarded by meteors and also comets, and there was a planetoid about the size of Mars that struck the Earth, and at that particular time, the two iron cores in the center melted into each other, and as the Earth spins, it creates an electromagnetic field, and that field protects us from the electrons being thrown out from the sun in a solar wind, which would wash away our atmosphere. So therefore, we take the next step and say, this is a stone of protection. It can be, it cannot be, and as we always say, it's 99 spiritual intent. I can't say it works, but this one I'll put in my pocket. Thank you very much.